Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Gachagua TV. There is one man who is giving William Samoei Ruto sleepless nights. There is one man who is making William Samoei Ruto and his advisors to burn the midnight oil, scratching their heads, wondering how to deal with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Gachagua has turned out to be a thorn in William Samoei Ruto's administration. Ladies and gentlemen, Gachagua has become untamable. Gachagua has become wild. Gachagua is exposing William Samoei Ruto's government badly. Gachagua is receiving a hero's welcome wherever he is going. Gachagua is not missing words. Gachagua is discontracting William Samoei Ruto and his administration. And now they don't know how to deal with Gachagua. Ladies and gentlemen, a number of proposals are on the table on how William Samoei Ruto can deal with Gachagua. If you're here for the first time, this is Gachagua TV. Please like the video, and if you have never subscribed to our channel, take that 1 minute, hit the subscription button. If you want to receive our videos anytime we upload the video, kindly put on the notification bell and you'll never miss any of our videos. Ladies and gentlemen, number one option that William Samoei Ruto can do and has been discussed is to use money. You agree with me that William Samoei Ruto's advisors, William Samoei Ruto's allies are moving across Mount Kenya region with sacks of money, buying people, giving money in churches, and anybody who cares to join them is receiving a lot of money. Ladies and gentlemen, number two, a thing that the government is trying to employ is to infiltrate the opposition. It's trying to make people look like they are working with Gachagua. But what I know, it is very clear that most of the people who will be joining Gachagua, a number of them will be spies. A number of them will be working for William Samoei Ruto. A number of them will come to make trouble in the opposition and to ensure that the opposition does not agree on anything. In fact, some of the people who will be starting with Wamunyoro, who will be joining Gashagua's party, will actually be spies and be funded by the government, and some of them will defect in the last minute, leaving the UDA supporters, UDA candidates alone without any opposition, and they'll be declared members of parliament elect, senator elect, governors elect without any opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a game like any other. The other option is to use the police. But this one seems not to be working. Using police to stop Gachagua is making William Samoei Ruto's government very, very unpopular. Remember the other day, the government tried to use goons, whereby Gachagua would go for a meeting, including a church, and then the goons would descend on Gachagua and would try to break the meeting, and everybody would scamper for safety. But they realized that they are becoming unpopular. Anytime the goons invade the meeting, people would be very, very angry, and the government would be condemned, including by the international community. So this one seems not to be working. The other thing is to come up with cases. Those who are close to Gachagua, the DCI sleuths are sent, and they are told, if you don't do ABCD, we are going to open up cases against you. Then we have KRA guys being sent and start demanding huge penalties and arrears in terms of taxes that have not been paid. This is just meant to intimidate the opposition. So these are all uncool method that the government is trying to employ to make sure that Rigathi Gachagua's popularity does not go especially beyond the level it has reached. What is worrying the government most is that Rigathi Gachagua is not going to be on the ballot. But some people, very close guys who are close to Rigathi Gachagua, have been sent to Rigathi Gachagua to convince him that he can easily win the election, that Kenyans can rally behind him. And this is a trap that is being laid. In fact, afraid we have heard Gachagua saying that he'll be on the ballot. And I've always advised the opposition, they may take it or leave it, that if Rigathi Gachagua will be on the ballot, opposition is going to lose. But if Matiang'i or Kalonzo will be the presidential flag bearer, they will take it in the morning. Rigathi Gachagua is an asset in the opposition. He's a kingmaker in the opposition. But the fact that some of Gachagua's allies are now being used by the government to convince Gachagua to vie for the presidency is going to work against the opposition. The government is actually at ground zero from where I sit. They have no option other than to accept defeat. The other issue, the other way, is to use the IEBC. You remember, Gachagua was telling us in the morning in the KC radio station, live video, that the select committee of IEBC proposed Charles Nyachai. He was a leading contender, but William Samoei Ruto rejected him and went for another person, the little known designate chairman from Turkana. And if you listen to the way the UDA guys are trying to say now, they are now trying to set the communities, the minority communities against the large communities. Like they want now people to start saying that people are criticizing the chairman of IEBC because he comes from Turkana. This is very much deliberate. You heard Kimani Ichung'wah talking about it yesterday. So the government is having serious headache because of Rigathi Gachagua. How are they going to deal with Rigathi Gachagua? Because Rigathi Gachagua is becoming popular every day. His mouth, in fact, there's nobody with the mouth of Gachagua. The mouth of the Rigathi Gachagua. Yeah. Mdomo wa Rigathi Gachagua ni sawasawa na bunduki kali. Ni sawasawa na kisu. Kisu ambacho kinakata mbele na nyuma. Ni sawasawa na msumeno ukatao mbele na nyuma. Kinywa cha Rigathi Gachagua ni hatari sana, hasa kwa upande wa William Samoei Ruto. How are they going to control Gachagua's mouth? Ladies and gentlemen, do you think there is anybody who can handle Rigathi Gachagua? Sioni, if you ask me, there's nobody who can tame Rigathi Gachagua. It is gonna be very, very interesting going forward. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.